Welcome to Art Insider. I'm Peter Nagy. In the past 10 years, we've witnessed revolutions, both in the world of telecommunications and the world of photography. Today, we all walk around with cameras all the time, and in a matter of minutes can send pictures all over the world for no cost at all. But where does this leave the professional photographers? Those who have studied their craft and honed their skills in order to make images for a living. Today, we're going to meet 4 different artists who use photography in very different ways. But many of them also acknowledge the changes that photography has gone through and how the very essence of the photograph itself has changed. Our first guest today is Vivan Sundaram, a senior artist who has explored many different artistic mediums and employed the photograph in many different ways for a multiplicity of meanings. You were certainly, in the context of India, one of the first artists who wasn't trained as a photographer to start using photography as a medium. Yeah. How did that come about?
Well, if I use the word archive, and I in fact titled the show called The Shergill Archive, referred to looking at my cupboard and the family album and found that Amrita Shergill's father, Umrao Singh Shergill, took photographs of the family, which from the late 19th century, once the camera became freer, everybody took pictures of their family, and the family album became a repository of information. But Umrao Singh's photographs had a certain presence, a certain form, if I might use that word. And so then a relationship of making art from the found object was already part of my vocabulary. And so to take up Umrao Singh's photographs and title a show called The Shergill Archive was the first initiator to represent his work, and there those photographs were not manipulated as subsequently in 2001 when I started doing this series called Retake of Amrita Compositions.
Because in the Shergill Archive, it's using the photographs in that sort of almost like a Cornell box at times, with letters, with other memorabilia, things about the family, and putting that together into a larger body. So it's not just the photograph; it very much is.
Yeah, it is represented within these containers of the boxes.
And it's a sculptural project, really.
Yeah, very
It
much
has
so.
a very sculptural form. So then you go to the next step where you're just using the pure photograph, and what you do, you took your grandfather's photographs and digitally combined them with excerpts, details from Amrita Shergill paintings.
Yeah, right? Well, it was many things, but even in the Shergill Archive, my interest in the narrative was already present, and the photograph was still an analog, means that it was not manipulated. And in just the way I arranged them, photographs of what I called father and daughter on a kind of 2-layered sequence, so that it became a narrative. His 84 years and her 28 years, and they are like together in Paris. So then you read them as a narrative. I'm establishing a relationship, say, between father and daughter. But once I come to the age of the digital, and where I could then manipulate and put in from different periods and places, relationship of Umrao Singh to his wife, to Amrita, and then Amrita's relationship to her sister, to painting. So a whole series of narratives emerge. So as I say, the digital is actually telling a lie to tell a new story or a new truth. And that's how that whole series evolved.
Our next guest is a renowned photographer who has diversified her practice in order to expand upon her identity as an artist. Dayanita Singh's thoughtful responses to the production, presentation, and distribution of photography today have led her to ambitious new forms, which straddle the genres of publishing, exhibition design, and curatorial study. Why did you go from the single picture, the single image hanging on the gallery wall into this larger, more complicated system?
You know, I came to photography through the book. right when I made the Zakir book, I made photos to make a book. I didn't have the idea of exhibition of photographs, and it didn't exist in India, at least in the mid-80s, the idea that you would just exhibit photographs. I didn't know it. For me, you made photos to make a book. And then after a few years, I started to feel, Peter, that when people came to the gallery to look at a photo show, it was that kind of a, you know, like they would just do a twirl and they would get everything. But now, if you really, I missed how people came to a sculpture show, for example. When you had a sculpture show, people would move around the work, and they would bend, and they would do a dance around the work if they were engaging with it. And I thought, can photography take that on? Can there be a more interactive experience of photography?
For the viewer, yes.
For the viewer. And for me, it was really important to be able to change the work during the show. Not just take it off this nail and put it on that nail, but actually close things.
It's noisy.
I love that.
You love that?
I like that.
I'd like to see them on like perfect little like high-tech casters, so they just go.
No, no, no.
You like the noisy part?
And they've been made for my apartment. So I can move them myself. So now if I felt that actually I would like the men to move in another direction, I should be able to do it.
How many pictures altogether here in this show?
I think about 800-900. They're still growing.
You're still bringing more in?
I'm bringing more in. See, something that you would never, that the structure doesn't allow a gallery or a museum to do, no? You do a show, and that's the show.
Well, because it's a bookkeeping nightmare.
Exactly, exactly. So at the Hayward Gallery,
to keep track of it all.
When I said, okay, actually in the Museum of Furniture, I'm starting to see a museum of vitrines. And they said, you can't just add another museum. But because I had these little boxes, the mini museums, I put them on the wall and I said, that's it, that's Museum of Vitrines.
I see.
So I made a structure, so it's not a nightmare for you, but I can keep on expanding it.
Look, I would like to do a museum of flooring.
Exactly. So each person finds something else, no?
There, because there's so many details. Yeah, because these could just be organized in terms of interesting flooring patterns, right?
So why don't we do that? We can build right now a museum of flooring.
So we have to take this one out. So yes,
so
these
which
two,
one?
This one, no, not that one. This one in the middle and this one over here.
Okay.
Let's not do carpeting, let's do
terrazzo.
Terrazzo or stone.
I think, wouldn't that be nice to have a terrazzo museum?
That's what we'll do. But I don't know. But this is parquet, but I like this one. So this one with the charpoy, or yeah, that's good.
This one?
Yes, please. Can you put it in the front?
You don't like it at the back?
No. I want it push, pull.
Yeah. Go away closer.
We'll use this one with these Pebble Welcome 1910.
That's my house.
That's Goa?
Yeah.
It says 1910 there. I'm not seeing it here as sort of interesting.
See, I could never ever do this in any museum or any gallery.
No, you're doing it in a museum right now.
So I built an entire structure to be able to do exactly this.
Yeah, well that makes sense.
Peter Nagy walks in, we decide to make a museum of flooring. We make the museum, we put a label, we make a little catalog, it's done. I never liked the single image. I always wanted to put my book at the back of the frame. But everyone said a book is a book, an exhibition is an exhibition. And so now, basically these are large books.
Yeah.
There's the spine and there's the front cover and the back cover.
Yeah, that's true.
And out of it come little pages, if you
Well,
like.
they're sort of like a Rubik's Cube. You've gone from the sent a letter and made it into like a Rubik's Cube, so it goes.
It comes directly from sent a letter.
Thank you, Danita. This has been amazing to see how flexible and how it's kind of confusing at the same time.
Well, I want it to be. I'm tired of photography spoon feeding and photography exhibitions spoon feeding the reader. I think the reader is far more intelligent.
Yes, that's good. And do you see more books actually coming out of this?
Oh, absolutely. The book is really the heart of it. The exhibition is really the catalogue of the book.
Oh,
So the Museum Bhavan book will be out in the fall.
Okay. So we'll look forward
Another object.
We'll look forward to seeing that.
Yes,
Thank you for
me
walking us
too.
through. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, I'll be speaking with Ravi Agarwal, an environmentalist who channels his concerns into a photographic practice.